We're live. We kind of did it. We sort of did it. Now it's showing my whole house. Let's see if we bring this a little bit closer. Yeah. All right, we did it. I can't really focus this camera though. All right. Sort of better. Kinda. All right. What's up? What's up? What's up? Boom, knuckles. Okay. So we are here. Hello, everybody. So guys, we're doing it. Pow, pow, boom. I put Streamlabs in there. You see the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood if you want to support the show without using, if you don't want to use Google, there's two ways to support the show. You can donate through Streamlabs, which is through PayPal. And PayPal just takes a really very small percentage. It's like not like half of a two point something, I don't know, something small. And or you can do the regular super chat button that's on your screen, and I will answer your questions. All right. Alan Parker, Graham, I liked your interview with Dr. Stephen Hale. Yeah, that was really cool, you guys. If you get a chance, please watch. It's a two-part interview with Dr. Stephen Hale, who is an economist lecturer in Australia. They're not called professors. Professors are like generals over there. It's not as broad of a term as it is here. But he's an economics lecturer at the University of Adelaide, which Adelaide, Australia is really cool. I've performed there many times. And he went in even more depths about MMT and our current economic situation and what we're looking at. And it's very, very informative. Also, Stephanie Kelton was on Jimmy Dore like a couple days ago, a week ago or something like that. I watched part of that interview. It was pretty amazing. Stephanie Kelton is someone I would name as Secretary of Treasury if I was Secretary of the Treasury if I was president, I'll tell you that much. And there's another economist that is another MMT expert that I'm going to be interviewing at some point this week. I have an interview with Lee Camp set up for this week. Also, the interview with Nomiki Konst. She was only able to do an audio interview because she was like running around. She's busy on a campaign trail, but it's a very cool interview to listen to. So please check that out. It's really awesome. Proudfoot, it looked marvelous. Thank you. You love mariachi. Yeah, I did this live stream last night. I just went and checked out this show at the Dynasty Typewriter, which is a really cool theater that some friends of mine run. It's been open for 10 months, and they were having just like a little celebration party, and then it's next to this mariachi bar. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna just live stream mariachi. How cool is this? You know, LA has this rich culture from Mexican culture, and this mariachi, bar has been there for years. And then in the middle of it, this guy just proposes to his girlfriend. It was just beautiful. Like, brought me to tears. So. You have a good point. Graham interviews have been awesome. Love Mark Crispin. Haven't seen him in forever. Yeah, it's been some really cool interviews. Those interviews with Mark Crispin and Cassidy Fairbanks were from the Unity for Jay. That's the monthly online vigil for Julian Assange, and usually it's the first Saturday of every month. It's pretty cool. I've talked to people from all over the world, Susie Dawson and everything else. It's pretty cool. Taj Marie, I saw both of your videos on. And the Jimmy Dore show on MMT. This goes beyond Wolf's teachings on socialism and just goes to show the priorities of the U.S. government. has more to do with morals or lack thereof. Yeah, and it really gets to the root of it. I mean, that's what this, to me, what this show's all about, what Jimmy Dore's all about, is it's about the truth. You know, I just want to talk about the truth. I want to get to the bottom of it. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it upsets me personally. I don't care if it throws me for a loop, like, oh man, I really thought I could trust that organization or that person or whatever. I just want to get to the truth. And everything I thought I knew about the economy, and hearing, you know, Dr. Hale speak, you know, he went to the London School of Economics. It sounded like one of these prestigious, like one of the most prestigious international schools. And he said we were just fed bullshit. So it's really amazing. And then if you watch the Stephanie Kelton interview on Jimmy Dore, she's, you know, there's this whole, the thing I got to say that I truly love about this show and doing this and being involved in this space is all the people I'm meeting and everything that I'm learning. I just want to give a huge shout out to anybody that came to the Jimmy Dore show at Flappers on Friday night. It was myself, Mike McRae, Steph Zamorano, obviously, and Abby Martin. And I got to meet Abby Martin, and Mike Preisner was there. You know, they both, they produce Empire Files. They're engaged too. They're really awesome people. I mean, they're like, you know, Mike is a vet. He served in Iraq and, you know, came back from there and realized this isn't right. And so the stuff that they're doing on Empire Files, I just have so much respect for them. I mean, I watch their videos. They're getting tear gassed in Venezuela, and they're going through the jungle, and they're going to Palestine and Israel, and they're just asking tough questions, not to mention all the people Abby's interviewed. Noam Chomsky, Chris Hedges, Jill Stein. I mean, it's pretty awesome. And, you know, it was just, we're all hanging out in the green room, and I took a photo and I posted it, I think, on my Patreon. And we're all just laughing. You know, Jimmy and Steph had just gotten back from Italy. We're in the green room. Ron Placone's there, and we're all laughing. And I just said, we should all hang out more often because we've all lost friends from being progressives, you know? And I think that's one of the things that makes the Jimmy Dore show so magical for not just the audience, but for us on stage, is we all feel isolated. We've all been called crazy things, and especially Jimmy and Abby. Oh my God, they've been accused of all kinds of crazy shit. And so we get together and we're all like, yeah, we're not nuts, and we're all speaking the truth, and everyone's passionate. Everyone wants to make things better. It's a bunch of people that want to make things better and just are all lasers for the truth. And being on stage, like Mike McRae, all those voices, he's just hilarious. And he's just riffing in all these different characters, which is hilarious. I love doing the show with Jimmy and Steph, and then having Abby Martin on. It was just like, she's just a laser for the truth. And you feel so empowered, man. You just feel so empowered. And there's 200 people there laughing and cheering and getting fired up. And it's more than a comedy show. I've done a million, you know, I've been a guest on Doug Loves Movies, Doug Benson's podcast, numerous times. We've done that show in front of 400 or 500 people, and those are so fun. I did a show on the 311 cruise back in 2011, I think. And did a show in front of 1,200 people. I got a standing ovation. It was awesome. But these Jimmy Dore shows are more significant, and the progressive comedy tours I did with Ron Placone are more significant because the jokes we are making, it's doing two things. It's like educating people and making fun, finding humor in really negative, dark stuff. I mean, it's hard to just watch these guys talk about, oh, here's how we got to start war with Iran. We got to figure out a way to start a war. This guy says this at the Hudson Group. Submarines go down, they come back up. Maybe they go down and don't come back up. Oh, so we just need to sink an Iranian submarine and we'll start a war with them. This will be great. Like, what? Or sink one of our subs? Is that what he's talking about? Killing U.S. seamen in the middle of the Persian Gulf, so we can say, oh, Iran sunk one of our subs. But no, actually, we sunk our own subs so we could start a war with Iran because they don't want to use the petrodollar. They're just saying that bold-faced. It's insane. It's hard not to go, Jesus, like everything's collapsing. We're all screwed. So we got to find the humor in it. It's cathartic for me as a person, as a performer. I feel like I do my best work as a comedian on those shows. And everyone on that panel knows their shit. Everyone is doing, you know, Abby did her research, and Steph and Jimmy and Ron and myself and Mike McCray. Like every time I'm on one of those panels, it's with people that really know what they're talking about. And it's exciting to be around people that are all, you know, we're all sort of outsiders, man. We're called freaks and crazies and sexist burn bros and Kremlin puppets, and we helped Trump win and all this bullshit. And it's like, you know, you see that like Deborah Messing still is like said in an interview in People magazine, she would rather ride on an elevator with Trump than Susan Sarandon. And it's just like, you know, and Abby Martin goes, I'd like to just educate her on the Electoral College. Like, what does she understand? She doesn't understand anything. So it's really, those shows are really, they're really powerful. And so, yeah, that's why the Progressive Comedy Tour is going to be pretty awesome. So, you know, Northern California, November 2nd, Ron and I are coming to Sacramento, November 3rd, San Francisco, Santa Barbara. That might not, I think we might be having a logistical issue. That show might not happen, but don't worry, we'll be back to Santa Barbara. It's 2 hours away. And then Florida, January 9th, Gainesville, January 10th, Miami, January 11th, Orlando, January 12th, Jacksonville. All those shows are for sale on GrahamElwood.com. So thanks. Andrew Sweet, can you speak to the Proud Boys attack in New York on Friday night? I'm not aware of that, actually. I'm not sure what that is. So I'd have to, I don't know. Charles Tofeld, I know this isn't news anymore, but I was in the Army for 6 years. I got stop loss and sent to Iraq. It has nothing to do with freedom. Jimmy is correct on our nation building. Well, it is news, Charles, because the fact that you got stop loss and sent to Iraq, it is news because we're ramping up to go to war in Iran. So it could start happening again. So your story and what happened to you and hundreds of thousands and millions of other people in the military needs to be told. But they want a regime change war. You know, if they could put 100,000 boots on the ground in Syria and Iran, or 200, whatever, they would do it. You know, they just want to keep bombing and keep rolling the war machine. I mean, the guy, they're looking. You better believe anything happens. If Iran attacks us, you better believe it's a false flag. You better believe the CIA set that shit up. You just got to know. There's just no way Iran would want to do this. There's no way. So, thanks for sharing that with me, Charles. And I think it's very relative. Cybercool, yeah, it's just like Hawkeye and MASH. If they didn't make jokes about the war, they'd always cry. Yeah, absolutely. Annabelle Corley, humor is the way. Annabelle, welcome to the States. Agent Dale Chomsky, it's my birthday. This year I got the IPCC report on climate change. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, that report, I did a video on that. Everyone's been talking about that report. It's like almost, it's showing things are more dire than we had thought or what the scientists had been saying. So, you know, we all got to, I got to change this real quick. We all got to do what we've been doing and getting involved and supporting and getting information out there. I'm going to try to get as much information out there as I can. You know, in organization Divest Ed that I did a video on how to get your college or university to divest from fossil fuels. and they have a whole website. There's a whole video. Just watch the video. It's not very long. It's like 5-6 minutes, and it shows you their website and what to do. And you don't have, if you're in school, obviously, you could do that. If you work for a university or college, if you live in a college town, or even just contact your alma mater and say, I don't want you, as an alumni, I don't want you investing in fossil fuels. There's all those things. We got to put pressure on people. We got to put pressure on people as much as we can. Chaz Bennett, a funny quiz game during the show would be hilarious. I don't know about I'll try to do this, but I definitely, when I did Political Vigilante live in Seattle and I did the game show, I'm going to always do that whenever I do a live Political Vigilante. So I'm looking for the right venue to start doing more of those on the road, but we'll see. Hugh Edwards, thank you for supporting the show, Hugh. Knuckle it, knuckle down. Shave knuckles for Gotham, guys. Don't think it makes no sense. We all got to do it. Schultze 100, Gulf of Tonkin, Pearl Harbor, 9/11. I'm always skeptical when our stuff is allegedly attacked. Yeah, Fort Sumter. Charles Tofeld, regular people understand the cost of life when it comes to a hot war with Iran. Iraq is nothing like Iran. Many soldiers will die. That will dwarf my losses with my Operation Iraq and Desert Storm. Yeah. Yeah, regular people don't understand that is. Yeah, that's correct. Cat B, funny how climate change report is be completely ignored by most of the TV media, most of the population, and the entire political class. Yeah, Cat, it's so unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. This massive report that's like screaming, wake up, action needs to be taken now. And the mainstream media is just like, well, we'll talk about other stuff. So it's pretty much of a bummer. Oh, Streamlabs. Israel Apartheid donated $3. Their question is, do you think Jimmy is dodging the legitimate concern with Tim Canova on his stance on Israel? Being a strong supporter of Israel and being in support of Israel Apartheid, I don't think it invalidates his other positions, but wonder what Abby Martin would say. Well, that's interesting with Tim Canova. Being a strong supporter of Israel is being in support of Israeli apartheid. No, I agree. I don't think it invalidates Tim Canova's other positions, but no, that is absolutely what I would like to hear Abby Martin say, because she went there and she seems to be pretty knowledgeable about what's going on in the region. This is the thing when we start playing politics. I don't want to lose this base. I think it'd be great for somebody to just speak the truth. Now, if Tim Canova firmly believes that, and that's what he firmly believes, and he doesn't have a problem with the apartheid state, then I guess I guess not all right, because I don't agree with it, but I guess if that's truly what he believes in all these other progressive things, Medicare for all and all that other stuff, but if he firmly believes that, then I at least could respect him for saying, this is what I actually believe. It's like somebody that actually believes in the Second Amendment versus somebody that gets a bunch of money from the gun lobby and says, oh yeah, I'm Second Amendment. Because at least I can respect the fact that you came to your opinion honestly. You came to it with some thought. Versus, I know that's a really good question. Israeli apartheid. I think it's Balthazar 228. He likes putting funny names when he does Streamlab. But that's a great question, man. I would love to know what Abby Martin would say, and it's something to It's a fair question to ask, and we should be able to ask these questions of our politicians who are claiming to be progressive. And also, we get to all make our own choices. I think sometimes progressives, we flip out too fucking quickly and this person's a sellout. Not to minimize the apartheid that is happening in Palestine at the hands of the Israeli government. But it's a fair question to ask. It's a fair question to ask. I wish I had a concrete answer for you, because I can't get in the mind of Jimmy. I can't answer for Jimmy. Nor do I know what Abby Martin thinks on the issue personally. I just met her. I'm hoping to get her and Mike on the show, Mike Preisner. I want to interview both of them for this whenever they have the time. They're very busy. Great question. And there's not a clear answer from my point of view. Thanks for asking it. Annabelle Corley's seeing some great music. Gilbert Felicio says it absolutely let's see what you guys have to say. See, delegitimizes Tim Canova. It's a fair point. Look at what Michael did to Mexico Beach in Florida. It won't wake all those deniers out of their delusion that it's a Chinese hoax. I know. Yeah. Gilbert Feliciano, Tim Canova is trash on confronting the Israeli issue. Andrew Sweet says Florida has a lot of Zionists. That's a valid, if that's what he's doing, of just like it's political suicide to go against Israel in Florida. It was the thing I had such respect for Bernie for. He was a Jewish man, is a Jewish man who was like, wait, this isn't right what's happening with Palestine. He said that. Like, I think you got to be able to say it's not right. If I ran in Chicago, where I'm from, let's say, there's a lot of Catholics there. There's a lot of Irish Catholics. I'm Irish. I was raised Catholic. I would be critical of the Catholic Church. And if it lost me the vote, then it lost me. If all the Catholics were mad at me because I was saying I don't like a church that covers up pedophiles, then I would lose. But I'm not going to go, well, I can't piss off the Catholics. If that's what Canova's doing, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he firmly believes, I really firmly believe I support Israel, versus I don't want to piss off this large demographic of my potential voters, then he's selling out, So it's a valid thing to talk about, man. And everyone's entitled to their opinion. If that's a purity test for you that he's failing, then you have the right to say no. I expect more. If you're like, I care more about Medicare for all and the environment and all the other things he really wants to protect, we'll deal with Israel later. I don't know that I would argue with that stance either. I don't support what Israel's doing. As I've said numerous times on the show, I have friends who are Israeli. I have friends with kids in the Israeli army. I am not anti-Israel, but I'm just anti, shooting of unarmed people. And I'm pro-justice and fairness. And the Israeli government doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide. So I don't know where morally they have a leg to stand on for anything, quite honestly. And they're shooting unarmed protesters. If the Palestinians were showing up with guns and rockets and blowing things up, well, then you have a case. But that's what Israel keeps claiming. Oh, they're all terrorists. No, they're not. They're in a prison camp, basically. And they're denied basic food and necessities, and it's not right. It's not right. You just got to stop with it's not right. I'm done with the team shit. I'm done with it. Like I said, man, I'm done. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to just back the Catholic Church. I used to be a huge college football and pro football fan. I used to have so much respect for Joe Paterno. I was like, man, he runs a really clean program. Penn State, the black, he's tradition. He's got that high graduation rate. He's got one of the more amazing programs in the country. They're not getting busted for sanctions and illegal recruiting. And then when the Sandusky shit came out, I was like, oh, he knew for 13 years? Fuck him. And fuck Penn State. It ain't right. If it's not right, it's not right. I got friends that are cops. I'm not anti-cop. unarmed black men getting shot and then the cops not all getting acquitted, that's not right. It's not right. I think, hard drugs are awful. I think marijuana should be legalized. I don't smoke. I'm completely sober. And hard drugs are a crazy epidemic. Cocaine has gotten so out of control here in LA. It's affecting comedy clubs in LA. It's affecting young comedians. It's worse in show business than I've ever seen it, quite honestly. But we need to treat drug addiction like a health issue versus a criminal issue. Anyway, I feel like I'm meandering. But a great question. Cheryl Brandon, Julian Assange has been granted partial communication today. Great news, huh? Solitary confinement is torture. Well, wow, Cheryl, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I wasn't aware of that. And I guess giving him some communication is better than none. They have been putting him in solitary confinement. The reports that people are hearing are not great. I work with people like Susie Dawson and others that are keenly involved. Julian Assange's mom, thanked me on Twitter and other people on Twitter. So it sucks what they're doing, what they're treating him, and how America is, putting pressure on Ecuador. That's what America does. So I'm glad he's getting some communication. I hope in those communiques he's getting how much people are supporting him. And that's the thing people don't seem to understand. They can do it to Julian Assange. They can do it to you, me, Jimmy, Cenk, Rachel Maddow, Sean Hannity. Same thing with Alex Jones, man. I'm sorry. Him getting censored is bullshit. I don't like Alex Jones. I think he's nuts. I think going after the victims of mass shooting, their families, victims' families, and saying, "Oh, you're a crisis actor," I think it's reprehensible. I think he's reprehensible for that. I think it shows you the sickness and moral decay of this entire fucking country. But he has the right to say that crazy shit on the internet. Because here's what I do with Alex Jones. I don't watch him. I don't subscribe to him. I don't follow him. I don't click on anything. I don't retweet anything he says. I don't argue with him. I don't argue with any of his supporters. I just shut him out. Social media has these wonderful things to block people. If Alex Jones were to jump on this feed right now and say, Graham, you fuck lizard people or whatever, you killed the Parkland shootings are fake, block, wingnut, block, block, block. You can be pissed at him. You can think he's an asshole. You can think he's has no sensitivity. You can think he's all those things. And you have the right to say, and you have the right to go online and say, fuck Alex Jones. Fuck him and all of his viewers. All of his viewers are bags of shit. They're all psychopath. They all fuck each other. They're all, inbred lunatics. You get to say that, but he shouldn't be blocked. All Julian Assange has done, good Christ, journalists should be beating the drum the loudest for his release. All Julian Assange did was people gave him information. He verified it and released it. He hasn't had to do one retraction. He was so thorough. He's never given up one single source. And he's in jail. So Cheryl Bolton, thanks for bringing that to our attention. I'm glad he's getting something, man. Andrew Sweet, my mom supports me but hates that I smoke. You can do both. Yes, defending a corrupt institution because it's pragmatic is a bad deal. Moose Gal, Graham, do you think the world would be much better if there were no religions? Oh, you godless socialist. You're going to hell for that one. No. Moose Gal, what a great question. A lot of religious people support my Patreon, so I'm not going to answer that. Wouldn't that be funny? That right there, that's what I just decided to sell out. I'll say what I've noticed throughout my life is organized religions seem to be the single greatest barrier for human beings having a connection to a higher power or a God. Now, again, I have friends of all different religious faiths who practice those religions and they get stuff out of them. None of them force their religions down my throat. Otherwise, I couldn't be friends with them. I don't force my hippie, vegan, drum circle craziness down their throats. In general, like if going to a church, a temple, or a mosque, you get something out of that, great. The fellowship, everybody together praying, or if the service is about like, let's pray for world peace, or let's pray for these victims of this natural disaster, or whatever's going on in your community. I think that those acts are great. I understand the community around religions and customs. I mean, I celebrate Christmas. I'm not a Christian. I don't call myself a Christian anymore. I celebrate Christmas because, you know what? I like the tree. I like the lights. I like apple cider, hot apple cider. I don't know. But I think personally, Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha came 500 years before Jesus, and Muhammad came 500 years after Jesus, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think they were all just like messengers from God. They all kind of came down or came from wherever and said basically the same things. Be good to one another. The golden rule, what you do unto others, do unto others how you treat yourself, right? Why did I fuck that one up? But you know what I mean. The golden rule. Do unto others as you would do unto yourself. That sentiment exists in every major religion. There's a great book called The World's Religions by, I think his last name is Houston, Huston. And he outlines all of the major religions, and he talks about that sentiment. Just be good to one another. Thou shalt not kill. All that, just be good to one another. And I think all three of those things were interpreted differently. And I think we needed religion hundreds of years ago when you couldn't explain stuff. And religion serves a function in that when you as a human being start asking at whatever age, all of the big questions, what happens when I die? If this is the known universe, this is our solar system, what's out here? When does time end? All of these big, massive questions that are hard to get our brains around. Religion comes in and answers it for you. Oh, there's a heaven and a hell, and religion was put in there to keep people in line. Because if everyone just thinks, oh, this is our only life, and when we all die, nothing happens, there's no heaven, there's no hell, there's no nothing, there's no karma, there's no reincarnations, you just fucking do whatever you want. Religion comes in and says, wait, there needs to be rules. But then religion has been used so often to do so many awful things. Look at the evangelicals. Look at the Crusades. Look at radicalized Muslims. Islam is a very peaceful religion. It's a very peaceful religion, but people take it. You can bastardize anything. Look what the NRA does with the fucking Constitution. Look what the Christian right does with the Constitution. Jesus loves everybody except brown queers. Then Jesus hates him. Like, what? And people, I've seen the new agey people here in California. I'm pretty new agey in a lot of my beliefs, but then I see people I've seen women push and shove to get in their way into yoga class. I saw two rich ladies in luxury cars arguing over a parking spot. I've been flipped off by people with coexist stickers on their fucking bumpers, driving around with a Prius. So anyone can bastardize anything. I think people need to have a connection to some sort of power greater than themselves. I think you need to have a purpose in life. I'm here to make people laugh and to educate, to inform and entertain. That's what I was put on this earth to do. I'm very good at communicating. I'm very good at making people laugh. I got a decent intellect. I was lucky my parents, could afford to send me to college so I can research and connect the dots in a decent way. I'm certainly no Noam Chomsky or Chris Hedges by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm all right at what I do. So everyone seems to find a purpose, and everyone needs to find that purpose. All of our collective purpose right now should be saving the Earth from a complete climate collapse and the end of life on planet Earth. But great question, man. Wow, we're getting real philosophical today. I like it. Proud Foots, put on the earth to make waves. Thank you for supporting the show. Shave up some knuckles, Proud Foots. Knuckle it up. Yeah. And I found out 12 years ago, I was also put on this earth to surf waves. Hi. Thanks for supporting the show, dude. Let's check over at the good folks at Streamlabs. What do we got at Streamlabs? We got another one. Debbie does bailouts. Thank you for supporting the show on Streamlabs, guys. You can go to the Streamlabs link is in the title, streamlabs.com/Grant Elwood if you don't want to donate through YouTube. It's not like hashtag Debbie does ballots. Sorry, Debbie does ballots is better in that regard or any other regard. She and Chucky, I can't figure out how glasses work. The shoe are equally bad, if not worse. Yeah, it's Chuck Schumacher couldn't even convince Joe Manchin to vote against Kavanaugh, to not confirm Kavanaugh. And someone called him out there, like, what kind of a minority leader are you if you can't do that? And then Neera Tanden was like, whatever stupid crap that thing says. It's just unbelievable to me. I mean, Kavanaugh's awesome. Oh, excuse me, awful. Jesus. Yeah, Kavanaugh's awesome. No, Kavanaugh is awful. I believe Dr. Ford wholeheartedly. And Joe Manchin voted to confirm him. That's the Democratic Party. We know what the Republicans are going to do. The Democrats scream. I mean, the Democrats rubber stamp 15 other judicial nominations on the lower courts. It's unreal. It's unreal. The two party. Yeah. Oh, but thank you. Debbie does ballots and Proud Foots supporting the show. Rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. Let's take a quick Gotham water break. The water just tastes a little different now that the Ra's al Ghul's guys took over the Gotham water. I don't know. It just tastes a little. I just feel a little different. I don't know what's going on. Let's see where we're at here. So to answer your question, Moose Gal, if everybody just loved each other and wanted and thought about how can I make the world a better place, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one, if everyone just thought that way, the world would be a better place. Gilbert Feliciano, Graham, are you a socialist? I'm becoming more and more one. You know, I don't know that I would flat out identify myself as a socialist, but I feel like I'm leaning more like, yes, I'm becoming one. I'm all right with it. Getting back to the Israeli issue, you don't have to be anti-Israel. You just have to be anti-oppression. Yeah, that's what we should all be, anti-oppression. Oppression isn't right. When the Israelis do it to the Palestinians, when our own government does it to water protectors, people that want clean water. We should be against it when Occupy Wall Street, how that happened. Any type of oppression. People who peacefully protest and are taken out in handcuffs by cops. When are the cops going to wake up? Stop. If you're a police officer, stop working for the 1%ers. That's what you're doing. You're muscle for the kleptocracy. You're muscle for the oligarchs. Because if all you cops stand down, they got nothing. They got nothing. Nonviolent protest, man. People should be allowed to do it. I'm against, yeah, you're right. I'm anti-oppression. That's a great way to put it. Andrew Sweet, Palestinians will die waiting for Canova to get to Israel. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Quite Guffrey. Quint Guffrey. Don't many of Israeli youth, they don't agree with this. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. A lot of Israeli youth, because they have access to the internet, and younger people started looking on the internet when they were 8 or 9. I remember I was like 25 by the time I got my first computer and access. I had an AOL account. There was a bunch of Israeli teenagers who said, we're not joining the military because it's 2 years of required service there. So a lot of people are starting to wake up, man. Ex-Israeli soldiers are going, this ain't right. That interview that Abby Martin did for Empire Files, I forget the guy's name, but he created an organization, and he was like, it's not right. I saw it. I was indoctrinated into this. All this was fed to me. And they always say, oh, it's a complicated issue. You don't get it. He goes, it's not that complicated. It's like there's a guy that works at the museum, the Holocaust Museum in Israel. He's the guy that was like, it ain't right that we don't recognize the Armenian genocide. You know what I mean? When people within start going, this isn't right. What we're doing within, it's not right. Like Mike Preisner, reading his story, man. He was an Iraq vet. He was like, I'm joining, after 9/11, I'm joining up. I'm defending my country, stopping terrorism. And he was over there. And it's like, wait a minute, we're the terrorists. Pat Tillman went through that same thing. Watch the Tillman documentary. He went through the same thing. The only reason he went back was just to be loyal to his guys, because he was a Ranger. Grams. Thank you. Cappuccino Conservative. Hello. Michael R. Pence. Chomsky is Jewish, and he believes Israel shouldn't even exist. Oh, yeah, I know. There's so many Jews and Israelis who are like, this isn't right. And that team thing, it's just like, I said this. The Hillary people, like, refuse to acknowledge all the evil stuff that Bill and Hillary, like all the women that accused Bill Clinton, they're all lying. But the women that accused Trump and Cosby and Weinstein, they're telling the truth. It just doesn't add up. It's like the Trump people saying the same thing. All those women that accused Bill Clinton, they're telling the truth, but all the women that accused Trump, they're lying. It's bullshit. It's just this team tribalistic nonsense that is ruining everything. Yeah, Scraboletta, the neocon lobbyist system is all powerful. The problem with politicians is that by the time they're in a position to actually win, the road there has chipped away at their earnestness. You never know what they actually think. Yeah. Tajme, don't remind me about the debacle with Penn State University. Yeah. It's such the thing that concerns me about this political system is people get in with very noble intentions and then they have to just make all these concessions here and there. You know, I think we need people who just are like, I don't care if I lose. If I ran, I wouldn't give a shit if I lost. I wouldn't be trying to get elected. I would just be trying to change things. That's what I would do. I would totally like, I just want to change things, and I'm only going to change things for the better. And if you tell me I can't, or I won't get, that's not electable or whatever, then forget it. Forget it. You know, and vote for somebody else. I'm not going to play ball. Sorry. And I would do the thing that was right, not the thing that's going to get me elected or reelected. I would do the thing that's right. Cheryl Brandon. David Kapoor, so sad how the outrage over Pat Tillman's death seems like a bygone era. Yeah, you watch that documentary, you see how his family was and who he was, you know? And then it got politicized. Basil Peterson, neoliberalism and incrementalism is not going to stop climate change. Trump and his people are bringing on the collapse sooner. Well, yeah. So either Trump, they're either going to bring on the collapse sooner, or they're going to bring out the national and global awakening. Like, I think that's the upside. I've said this before about Trump, is more people are getting involved. Look at all these young millennials running and winning, all these progressives winning. Look at all these people protesting. I mean, the good thing, I mean, Kavanaugh getting nominated is awful. And I hope people are waking up. Like, the Democrats could have fucking gotten, what's his name, Gillibrand in there or whatever. And they didn't push hard enough because they're pussies, you know? And people like, stop with this Democrat shit. And Joe Manchin votes for him, you know? And look what Susan Collins did, you know? And so the people, mainly women, showing up to protest and getting arrested, and Amy Schumer getting arrested. I'm not glad that Amy Schumer got arrested, but I'm glad that she's like engaging, and she has a huge platform. She has millions of fans. She sells out huge arenas. She's probably one of, if not the biggest comic working right now. She has A-list movies, and she has a lot of influence and a lot of power. And she could just be like, well, I don't want to rock the boat and lose my fans who go to my funny movies, and maybe they won't buy tickets to my shows. She's like, fuck that. It ain't right. More people need to do that. More people need to wake up. I hope Amy Schumer, I know her, I'm not super close with her, but I haven't seen her in several years. I hope she's waking up to the fact that, like, the Democrats aren't that great. That if you're going to hold, you need to hold everyone accountable. Hold Obama and the Democrats accountable. They could have put in a left-leaning justice, and they didn't. They did not. They waited. We'll say, you know, let's be pragmatic. The Republicans are never pragmatic. The Tea Party people are never pragmatic. You know, the March for Our Lives, those high school kids that are like protesting gun violence. I love what they're doing. As I've said before, their protests shouldn't be on Saturdays anymore. They should be Monday. They should say, we're shutting down high schools across the country until you guys fix gun legislation. We're shutting them down. Look what happened in 3 red states with the teacher strikes. They shut it down. It's what you're going to have to do. Nonviolent protest. You have to make it uncomfortable for them. You have to make it. You have the powerful, the 1%, the oligarchs, the kleptocracy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They don't give a shit. You can shame them, call them bad. They don't care. You have to threaten them. You have to threaten their money. You have to show them that their power is very tenuous. You got to convince cops and soldiers to not protect them. That's what you got to do. Don't yell at the cops, the beat cop, and fight them and throw shit at them, because they're just going to react with more violence. Or plead with them and say, why don't you join us, man? You ever notice they never fuck with the police union? Rabbi Israel David Weiss is an anti-Zionist. He has very strong views on Israel. Annabelle Corley, look at Ireland. It is a place where massive change has taken place. Northern Ireland has peace. One of the most Catholic places in the world now has gay marriage. Change is possible. Annabelle, thank you for bringing that up. What a great example. Let's talk about Northern Ireland. How they were treated by the English was really awful, but they went to terrorism, you know, and much of it was justified, but there was a lot of people there just like, we got to fight, we got to fight, we got to fight. And they went to more nonviolent protests and they got a lot of things passed. You know, I'm not there, I don't live there, but from what I've heard, it's way better than it was. Thank you for bringing that up, Annabelle. You know, Gandhi got England to give up its control of India. He was all about nonviolence. Dr. King was all about nonviolence. Look what Rosa Parks did. She throw a brick at anybody? She just sat there and said, nah, I'm not moving. It's not right. That's what needs to happen. People just need to go, nah, sorry, man. I can't do this. And when the next big recession comes, and it will, it's going to happen more because you're going to have millions of people who don't have jobs. And that means they've got time on their hands. They're not worried about getting fired when they don't already have a job. So they're going to just sit there and stand on Capitol steps and block stuff and just say, nah, just surround courthouses. And that's what's going to happen. Don't forget you can support the show on streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. All right. Marcia Smith, thank you for donating, Marcia. We'll see you October 20th, guys. The Stay in Your Lane comedy show. 6 comics doing 15 minutes each. Everyone's a headliner. It's not an open mic. $10 to get in. It's in Tarzana. $3 food and drinks. It's a fun night, and you get free bowling shoe rental with your ticket price. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to the comedy clubs in Hollywood. That's all I'm saying. Go to GrahamElwood.com. Marcia was at the last one. She'll tell you how good it was. Marcia Smith said, trying again, so here's a little grease for your wheels. Looking forward to seeing you this Saturday at the Corbin Bowl. Well, Marcia, I can't wait to see you too. You're a great supporter of the show, and then coming out to the live shows has been great too. I love meeting you guys in person. So, admitting your mistakes. Thank you for supporting the show. Boom. Shellac-a-lac, boom. Admitting your mistakes and owning up to previous bad positions and trying to change them is one of the most humanizing things one can do as a politician. Ignoring them or acting like they're good positions just makes you come across as fake. I'm telling you, you could not say something more true. Do you know how America would respond to a politician that went, you know what, I screwed up. I passed that bill. It was a mistake. I'm going to try to fix it. That's my fault. I'm in charge. It was my fault. I made the final call. We're going to fix it. You know what Americans would do? They would rally behind that person more than anything you've ever seen in your life. I think Americans are just disgusted by this. No one can admit it's always somebody else's fault. It's the other party's fault. And no one can just go, I fucking dropped the ball. I blew it. I'm sorry. Can you imagine that? I'd love to run for president and be on stage with Trump, whatever neoliberal they put up for the Democrats. I'd run as an independent, right? I have this is like a fantasy. It's like Trump, Elizabeth Warren, or somebody like that. And they ask, what will you do if you're president that your opponents won't? And they'd all give some, well, I would fight for you and Main Street and blah, 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 blah. And I would just say, admit when I'm wrong. And I know I would get a standing ovation from that. I'd admit when I'm wrong. I'd come clean and go, no, I screwed up. That's what I would do. Let me get this right. Thank you for supporting the show. Boom, boom. Let me see if I have this right. In order to fix our threatened election integrity, Dems have weekend and holiday elections. Eliminate cross-check, passed ranked choice voting, required paper ballots with receipts, allowed open primaries with same-day registration, sued trolls. That's great. That would fix it. Run on that. Run on election reform. I'd say I'd completely overhaul the election system because right now it doesn't let Americans vote. And I would say, and if this system, if I overhaul this system and it means I lose as a result of it, great. As long as we have an engaged electorate, people in America are paying attention to their democracy and getting involved and participating and voting, not just for president every 4 years, but in their local elections, in their city council, in their school boards, in their state government. Paying it. Most people know you have a state Senate and a state House. Did you know that? Vote, pay attention, get involved. I would do that. And you know what? You'd get elected. If you said stuff like, this is what I believe in, this is what I stand for, and if I lose as a result of it, then I lose. I'm not changing my opinion. You would crush them. And the two parties wouldn't know what to do with you because they're just career opportunists that will just drop to their knees and suck whatever corporate dicks in front of them. Yeah, Joanna, you can't imagine how many people that vote every election that don't know about Pat Tillman. I know. Let's see where we're at. Patrick Holt. That's the difference between Christ and every modern cult leader. They all try to copy him until he comes to trouble. Then they get other people to die to avoid being held accountable. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing too. If you read like the teachings of Jesus, he was a socialist. He loved everybody. He hung out with beggars and prostitutes, and he tried to convert them. He loved everybody. He wasn't out there bombing people, and he didn't say God hates fags. I'm pretty sure he didn't say that. I'm pretty sure Jesus didn't say that when he was spreading this message of love all to everybody. Moose Gal, G, did you hear about the teens that are running in Orange County? They are a group of young progressive corporate-free students running for city council seats all across OC students for city council. That is awesome. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm saying. It's one of the things I talked to about Nomiki Konst. I brought up the super delegates, and she said we shouldn't focus too much on super delegates. I don't agree with that. I think that's a huge, glaring problem. But the one thing she did mention that I did agree with, she goes, we should be focusing more on getting progressives in all these smaller things and then getting progressives to build up. So now there's this foundation so that when we do get a big progressive in the presidency, that then they have all this support around them. You can do both. You need to do both. That's my opinion. You need to do both. Not just, the super delegates. Let's not get too hung up on that. Well, that's why we have Trump as our president. Republicans don't have super delegates. She says, well, they have other systems. And I didn't want to get into a big argument with her, but I was like, yeah, but if the Republican Party didn't want Trump, if they had super delegates, they would have used them to get Trump out of there and put Jeb Bush in. And we'd have Bernie as president. But that's great. Thanks for bringing that to our attention. Annabelle Corley, what do you think would happen if the United States voting was made compulsory? Well, Annabelle's from Australia, where voting is compulsory. Brazil has compulsory voting. Many countries have that. Ultimately, I think it would be a good thing. I think you'd see a lot of crazy things happen. Those 108 million people that didn't vote in the last presidential election, who, if they had to, you'd see crazy shit. Gary Johnson might be our president or something. It would really shake things up for the better. And then it would change politics, because if there were people just saying, fuck, all right, I'll just vote for assholes. I don't care. I'm just going to vote for the Peace and Freedom Party and those candidates, and Green Party and Libertarians would start winning, right? This is just my theory. But then the politicians would go, oh, we got to actually campaign about issues that the people care about, not our corporate donors. I think it would be a good thing. I think there's a lot of things you should do before compulsory. Put voting over voting should be 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We should have ranked choice voting, runoff elections, open primaries. I mean, you know, a lot of things to do, but compulsory wouldn't be bad either. Wouldn't be bad. Jim Garrison, same Jim Garrison that was doing the Kennedy investigation. That same one? I hope so. Jim, thank you for supporting the show. Let's see what we got on the streams. Thank you, guys. Thank you for supporting the show. This is so rad. That was a joke. I was poking fun at all the things Dem could have done, but instead they sued 13 trolls. Yeah, I figured as much. All right, let me go back to that. Let me get this right. Let me see if I got this right. In order to fix our threatened election, have weekend holiday elections, eliminated cross-check, passed ranked choice voting, required for paper ballots with receipts, a lot of them primaries with the same day registration, and instead they sued trolls. Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't get the joke initially. See, I can admit fault. That's why I should be your president, because I'll fight for you. I've got platitudes up the ass to make America great. Thank you. That was a joke. Religion by Josh. Thank you for supporting the show. Streamlab, Shave Knuckles. I always get a kick at the fact that Christianity is a religion founded off the teachings of a short, curly-haired, Middle Eastern Arabic Jew named Josh. Jesus comes from the Hebrew Yeshua or Joshua. Oh, God. Yeah. Curly hair, brown skin. That's who Jesus was. I don't think there was a lot of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people running around the Middle East. Maybe I'm wrong. Ah, yeah. Our Lord and Savior, Josh. Thanks for supporting the show. Snark Y2K, I like 3-day voting. How about a whole week or month? Some people work a week on and a week off. Yeah, I think what you do is you don't make it one 13-hour window. You have, I mean, we have vote by mail here in California. I would increase that, or paper ballots with receipts, or, you know, I would do all of these things to make it as easy for people as possible to vote. And there's I was watching on, I believe, World According to Jesse, if I'm not mistaken, with Brigida Santos. Maybe it was an episode that Jimmy Dore was on several months ago, but they were talking about there's a technology that's like highly secured that some other countries are using for online voting. If it's secure and it's not hackable like those bullshit Diebold machines, I'm all for whatever opens it up to get people involved. That's what I want to do. So I'm all for it. Tajmi, all states should have early voting while election day should be a holiday. The top 20 most populated states get 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 10. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, early voting is good. Yeah, those who don't get the holiday off should get a day off during the early voting. These are all great ideas. Yes, Tajmi, you're correct. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It is blockchain. So there's blockchain voting. I'm just learning about the blockchain, which is pretty amazing to me. Which brings me up to this. So I've been trying to upload this on Steemit. DTube is increasing, very buggy, and DLive is having some issues because they left the Steemit blockchain. So I don't know that I'm going to be able to post these videos on Steemit. I'm trying. It doesn't look like it's possible. I had a long conversation with Arno, and he said it was just it took hours and hours, and that's why they stopped posting for Jimmy Dore. I'm sorry. I wish I could. I wanted to. I do have a Bitcoin wallet, and that wallet link is in the show notes of all the last weeks of worth of episodes. So if you want to donate to the show in cryptocurrency, I have Bitcoin. If there's any other wallets that I'm only using Bitcoin. But if you're like, Graham, use this Bitcoin wallet, tell me, and I'll set that wallet up. Email me, info@grahamella.com, and I'll set up that crypto wallet, and however you want to help the show. I'm down with some cryptocurrency. I'm just going to be selling drinkable water when the shit goes down. Yeah, Patrick Cole brings up a great point. Chris Hedges is the real deal as an actual Presbyterian minister. I have not read the book, but I know he does have a book out there about the evangelicals and how dangerous they are. The man knows his scripture. Sorry to ask this, but what are super delegates? I assume they are not politicians allergic to kryptonite. No, super delegates are the thing that helped screw over Bernie Sanders. So the Republican Party doesn't have this. So like what would happen is in the Democratic primary, when Hillary and Bernie were running, there'd be states, and then whoever won the most votes in that state would get the delegates for that state, and the most delegates would give them the nomination. But then there's these super delegates, which are bonus secret delegates. Hillary had all those locked up. So there was literally, I can't remember how many states, 4 or 5, maybe more states that voted for Bernie. So he got those delegates, but then the super delegates all gave them to Hillary. So it was the weighted scale. She started the primary with whatever 500 some super delegates. She already had it. And this is the thing for Nomiki Konst to just say, oh, let's not focus on that. Is like, nah, we need to focus a lot on that because it just screwed over progressives. It screwed over progressives a lot. The religious assholes need to get old and die off. That's the only solution. Yeah, there might be some other solutions out there. Let's not get too nuts. Yeah, Agent Del Chomsky, super delegates were literally invented to shut out grassroots. Absolutely. For drinkable water equipment, Snork Y2K at weavedwaterdrought.com. Weavedwater.com. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool, Snork. You guys are having a nice discussion about religion, it looks like. Basil Peterson, superdelegates are anti-democratic, as are closed primaries and the slave state of electoral college. Yeah, absolutely, man. It is like a game show. Snork Y2K, religious assholes need to sue Hillary. That'll end them quick. That'd be fantastic. Oh yeah, Janet Kelton. We do need to get rid of the electoral college. The electoral college is just preposterous, man. It's just and people say, well, what if the masses get swept up by some? Well, they already did with Trump. I would do several things. I would open up democracy, making voting easier for people and get more people involved. I would also spend more money on education and give everyone free college tuition so that we would have a more intelligent, more informed electorate. And I would encourage healthy, respectful debate and discussion, not fuck you, I'm right, you're wrong, but healthy debate. Be willing to hear somebody else's point of view. Be willing to go, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't consider that. Or maybe I'm wrong on this. Or you know what? Agree to disagree. We don't have to keep talking about this. There's nothing wrong with any of those answers. You guys are talking about scripture. Schultze 100, I heard that he hung out with Buddhists during the time he was a teen. Monks taught him Eastern secrets and the way to nirvana, and he was able to get meditation to catch on with the people of Israel. Man, I wouldn't doubt that at all. In order to get rid of electoral college, it would require a constitutional convention, which the Koch brothers would love to redo the convention. I know. It would take a lot. It would take a lot. Definitely a nice religious discussion. All right. Sounds like multiple personalities. Let's see what's over here at the Streamlabs, guys. Go to streamlabs.com and donate through the Patreon. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself, as Balthazar228 seems to like to do. Is the Electoral College in the Constitution? I believe that it is, or at least it's protected by the Constitution. But that's a good question. I'm not clear on the specifics of that. The Proudfoot said, the thing is that the ideas are good. It doesn't matter who said them first. If they're bad, it doesn't matter either. Yeah, for sure. The Dems not doing anything about Electoral College shows how fake they are. First Gore, then Clinton. Oh, yeah, they just let it happen. You know? Sam Dwayne, good day from Melbourne, Australia. Oh, I love Melbourne. Love it. How's your spring? You guys are spring on into your summer. God, I love Melbourne. I haven't been there in 3 years. I would love to go back there. So we would need an amendment to change it. Yeah, okay. I want to move to Adelaide. Yeah. I like Adelaide. Marcia Smith, Electoral College, USC Article 2, Section 1, Clause 3. Thank you so much. United States Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 3. Thank you, Marcia. Cheers from Oz, of course. You're sweet, so it can't be changed then. No, it'd be hard. It'd be hard to get it changed. Asian Tail Chomsky, any thoughts on the disparity in coverage of thousands killed in Yemen by Saudi versus the coverage of one WAPO columnist likely murder? Well, you know, a journalist getting killed is a big deal, and it was killed by the Saudis, but you might have the answer in your question, in that if we talk about one journalist, then we're not talking about all of people in Yemen, because Yemen is starting to actually get some traction. There's a bill on the House floor. They're trying. There's more talk about why are we in Yemen is happening now, since that awful bus attack where 44 kids died in August. And I wouldn't be surprised if the mainstream media is using, and again, a journalist getting killed, we should talk about that, but it also shows the sort of selective amnesia of the corporate media. Serena Shim gets killed in Turkey. She's an American journalist from Detroit originally, who uncovers that we are letting ISIS go through American bases in Turkey to get into Syria, and she ends up dying in a mysterious car crash that nobody investigates and nobody talks about it. So they're going to pull up journalists when it makes sense as a distraction, or we'll use this investigation for this political means. So I think that is the answer to your question. They don't want to talk about Yemen, so we'll talk about this one journalist. They don't want to talk about Yemen. They don't want to talk about Yemen. Just know that for a fact. Fantastic Life. Boom. Dominic. Elon Musk is paying for water filtration systems in Flint City schools. This should help Americans realize that there is still a problem in Flint. You know, there's some stuff about Elon Musk I must say I'm not a huge fan of, but then he does some stuff that I am a big fan of. I like his technology. I like his solar power. I like his electric cars, obviously. And it's good that he's doing this. For several reasons. One, like you say, Fantastic Life. Showing people, hey, still dirty water in Flint, Michigan. 4 years now? Has it been longer? 5 years? Remember when Obama went there and drank from a tap and went, that looks good to me. Nice hot cup of fucking democratic pragmatism. Bunch of neoliberal in a glass. So it's good. Also, I hope it's like shows to the government, hey, this is fucked up. And then to all of his billionaire Silicon buddies, hey, Jeff Bezos, $15 an hour. Yeah, that's a nice gesture. Make it 20 and give everyone health benefits. And you can fix the water in Flint. Like, I hope that Elon Musk doing this is holding more of these asshole Silicon Valley billionaires. I know many of you work in the tech industry. I'm not having a problem just working in the tech industry, but billionaires, just because you wear a hoodie and skateboard shoes doesn't mean you're any less of a problem of the 1% and the fucking oligarchy. When you build a wall around your fucking mansion on Kauai that offends neighbors and fucking sacred land, Zuckerberg, suck it. So I hope this Elon Musk action gets more of these guys to wake up and pay their employees real wages and help people, because they have the money to do it. And they can still fly around in their private fucking jets. Thank you, Fantastic Life. Schultzy 100. Thank you for the Sunday live chats. Let us know when you'll be in Seattle again. Love to see your show. Oh man, hopefully. You know, maybe at some point in the spring or summer, Ron and I will get up there and do, do a progressive comedy tour up there again. That'd be cool. Ron's with me. Maybe I can talk Jimmy into doing a Jimmy Dore live up there. He'd sold a lot of tickets in Portland. I know he'd sell a lot in Seattle. So if he goes to Seattle, man, I'll go with him for sure. So boom, shellac-a-lac. Thank you for supporting the show. Schultze 100. Mm-hmm. All right, gang. Yeah. Jim Garrison, a lot of mysterious car crashes and other accidental deaths for shitsters. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? Basil Peterson, a senator in Wyoming has a constituency of 200,000. One senator in California has 20 million. That's not democracy. No, I know. It's the Senate we need to abolish the Senate. It's where good ideas go to die. California has the fifth largest economy in the world. And the senator from Wyoming can make the same claim, can block something. Congress is representative democracy. Senate isn't. Senate is just designed to fuck the people over. Jimmy was talking about doing a European tour in yesterday's super chat. I will join that. I would absolutely go to Europe. Ron's going to Europe. And I told him he's doing some shows out there. I said, check out some venues for some progressive comedy tours, man. Fantastic Life. Thank you for supporting the show. Boom, 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 boom. Folks should check out BBC documentary, Drowning in Plastic. You can watch it on YouTube. Oh, awesome. I reached out to some environmental activists, this woman, I forget her name, she might be even in that documentary. She's going around finding all this plastic. But yeah, it's why like banning single-use plastic and petitioning your town, your school district, your business, restaurants you go to ban single-use plastic. It's everywhere. I know it affects all of us. It affects all of us. But the more we ban it, the more we find sustainable solutions, which already exist. They banned it in Costa Rica. There's no single-use plastic in Costa Rica. One of the cleanest countries I've ever been in my life. So it's possible. And thank you for bringing up that documentary. So check out the BBC documentary, Drowning in Plastic, and you can watch it on YouTube. All right. All right, guys. The DuPage County, that's in Illinois, has 18 members, but only one is a Democrat. Now there are several women running to replace them. One is a lady, even a musician. Exciting. That's great. Yeah. That's great. That's what I'm saying. These little things, that's where people need to get involved with. Hobie Hernandez, hey Graham, in the Philippines are now in the third reading in Congress about universal health care, a third world economy. Holy shit, that's huge. Thank you for letting us know about that. See what I'm saying, man? The Philippines, a third world country, is talking about getting universal health care. But we can't in America? We'll get $1.5 trillion for the F-35 that isn't even fit. It'll never be done. We've got that, but we don't have health care. But the Philippines will. We've got universal health care in Brazil. Thanks for bringing that up, man. Well, guys, that wraps it up. You think homesteading is the answer to poverty, corporatism, and global warming? Wow, that's a big question. Could be. I think there's a lot of solutions to those things. I don't think there's one single solution to any of those major issues. There's a lot of things that can help, I think. It's like, how do we do election reform? It's not just ranked choice voting or just open primaries or just making it a holiday or just making it 3 days long, you know, or early voting. It's all of those things to overhaul election systems. So the things you brought up are going to need more than just that, in my opinion. Just subscribe. Thank you. Even CNN in the Philippines reporting it. Thanks, man. Are you in the Philippines? That's awesome if you're watching from the Philippines. I've always wanted to go there. Yeah, Trump rejects calls to the U.S. to end arms sales to Saudi monarchy. That's weird. Because when he went there last year and had to touch that orb, they probably said, we'll slit your throat when you sleep. Well, guys, that is our show. Thank you so much. I love doing this. I love doing this every Sunday. So I'll be back at it. Let me look at my calendar. Yeah, next Sunday, we'll do next Sunday at 3 o'clock again. So I want to thank Hugh Edwards. Thank you for supporting the show. Proudfoots. Boom. Jim Garrison. Plantastic Life. Schultzy 100. Plantastic Life again. Thank you guys so much for supporting on YouTube. And then the fine folks on Streamlabs, everyone who supported me there was Religion by Josh. Thank you for supporting the show. That was a joke. Thank you for supporting the show. Let me get this right. Supporting the show. Admitting your mistakes. Thank you for supporting the show. Marcia Smith. Thank you for supporting the show. Debbie Does Ballots. Thank you. Israel Apartheid. Thank you for supporting the show. It really feels like that's the same guy, but I don't know. Who am I to judge? You guys are all awesome. Again, Northern California. We're doing Sacramento November 2nd. We're doing San Francisco November 3rd. Those shows are almost sold out. Those are 3 weeks away. They're almost sold out. Get your tickets now. GrahamElwood.com. And then we'll come into Florida in January, the 9th to Gainesville, the 10th to the Miami area, the 11th to Orlando, and the 12th to Jacksonville. Go to GrahamElwood.com. Ron and I are setting up more tours. We're looking to do Hawaii in February. And I don't know where we're going to go in March. I'm not sure, but we're going to find some places. We're going to try to do one of those a month if we can. That's our goal. So check that out. Come out to the live shows. They're awesome. And we'll see you on the live stream. Please subscribe. We just passed 10,000 subscribers, by the way. Finally. We should have passed that like months ago, like 6 months ago. We finally passed 10,000 subscribers. So please keep subscribing. YouTube is unsubscribing people. Hit the bell notification. And there's other ways to support the show. Like I said, I have a Bitcoin wallet. There's Patreon. Love to get the Patreon numbers up. Patreon.com/GrahamElwood. I'm adding more content at the $10 and the $5 level. For $25, I'll do a video interview with you. You've seen some really cool ones, Mitchell Health, stuff like that. So please, guys, support the show wherever you can. Listen to the show on iTunes, downloads. So subscribe to it on iTunes, Political Vigilantes in the news and politics section. More download numbers I get, that helps. I can maybe get some ad revenue from that. All those little likes and subscriptions and posts and putting it on social, all those little things help. So thank you so much. And October 20th, stay in your lane. That's next Saturday. I'll be there. Kira Sultanovich, Luz Pezos, who was on my FNX show. Brandy Posey, and Jim McLaughlin, and my friend Jim Bruce will all be there. GrahamElwood.com. Thank you guys so much. Namaste. All your namastes, may they be namas waves. What? That was horrible. God damn, it was dumb. Nice. Sharing is caring. You guys are great. Don't forget to like. Thank you for subscribing. You guys are awesome. So thank you all for making Gotham great again. Boom, look at that shaved knuckle. Come on. Thank you guys so much. Make Gotham great again.